Hello and good evening, everybody. So, today I'm going to talk about a wonderful book called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. This book is written by an author named Rebecca Skoolt. This particular book portrays about the life of a woman who became unnoticed uh, and was no one before, but after her death, she became very much famous, and also she has contributed to contributed herself beyond death. That's what I can portray here. This book speaks about how a particular medical institution bluffs people and also takes their cells without their consent and make money out of it. So that's what this book is all about. In the particular memoir, I mean, it's not a memoir, it is a biography written by Rebecca Skoolt. This particular woman, Henrietta Lacks, whose cancerous cells was removed in John Hopkins Hospital back in the 50s, 50 or 60s probably. And those cells were cultured, and the cultured cells, whatever was there, started to multiply itself. That particular cancerous cell multiplied itself into humongous quantities, and large amount of quantities was distributed across the globe for medical research. In fact, these particular cells are used to treat various diseases apart from cancer. I mean, those harmful diseases which were once what do you call which were once so much of demand. These cells actually it helped the medical industry itself for clinical research and other aspects. The particular cells taken from this particular woman, the Henrietta Lacks, is called HeLa cells, and the author here narrates like how it all started, a journey about discovering this particular HeLa cell. I mean, the origin of this particular HeLa cell in her biology class back in her probably school or college days. She then wanders around the whole of the country to know who exactly was that particular woman from whom this cell was extracted. And also it highlights the family consent back then, and her own daughter, Henrietta Lacks' daughter, Deborah Lacks, late Deborah Lacks. Now she's no more, but back in that book, while writing the book, she was alive, and she actually highlights how it was taken. I mean, how those particular cells were extracted without the family's consent. Uh, and It's a really wonderful book. I suggest people who are into cell biology or molecular biology, or also those who are doing research or PhD in the field of biology, as well as medicine, to go and read through this book. And it also addresses the ethical aspect also about how it is very important to get the consent from a particular patient before doing any sort of research on them, or extracting a particular tissue, or a biopsy, or any particular material from their body. It's very fascinating book. I mean, very lucidly written, easy to read, easy to go through, and also complete it on time. I read this book back in last year, I suppose. It was around 4 to 5 months back, and I can recommend this book to almost everybody. It is irrespective of age, gender, or genre. It's a non-fiction book, and those who are very much curious to know how cancer works, or those who are very much interested to know how these cells which was taken from her is being still growing in various medical laboratories and research centers across the world, and how it is nurtured and how it is transported from one place to another. All this information is provided in this particular book. And also there is a movie about this book. There is a movie also which came back I mean, it came back last year, I suppose, by Oprah Winfrey. She herself has, I mean, she herself has acted in this particular movie, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, and this movie has become very famous, I hope, for the people who are black African Americans. And the racism also was a huge impact back then in the 50s, and how they took so much of black African Americans to conduct medical research on them and to take certain informations from them to do medical research without the knowledge of without the knowledge of those people. So overall, I can say that this book is overall it's a very much fascinating, and also there is a short snippet also about the doctor who took the cells and who benefited out of it, and by ultimately they didn't give any sort of monetary benefits or something to the family, the Henrietta Lacks family, but they took only the cells from her body without the permission of her, and made money and did so many research out of it and cured so many other diseases. It's also on the other side very important that if in case the family would have gone against it, or they would have restricted this or made any sort of complaint or something like that, huge disadvantage would have been happening for the community, because the whole medical community is dependent on so much of vital information and also on experimentation as well as research. Without research and experimentation, it is very difficult to give an end result and to provide a particular therapy or a treatment for a particular individual or a patient who is suffering from those complex diseases. This is what the book is all about, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I read this book way back, but still remember a part of it, I mean the snippet of it. And there is another documentary also by Adam Curtis. It was a BBC documentary. Maybe it is like it is titled as, I forgot the name of that documentary actually. Swept Under the Flesh or something like that. The documentary titles like that. It's by Adam Curtis. You can just check like Henrietta Lacks BBC documentary Adam Curtis. You'll find a link in maybe YouTube or some other online sites where you can download it and as well as you can just go through the documentary. And that particular documentary is the one which portrays the scenario accurately, precisely. This documentary was way before the book which got published, and Rebecca Skoolt has gave her extreme efforts in writing this particular book. She has went against the odds from the medical community as well as from the hospital people, administration, etc. Few of the people who worked on these HeLa cells and who are given the therapy have refused to give interview for this particular author to write the book on Henrietta Lacks. It's a non-fiction book, and it's a very much interesting book for everybody who wants to know more about the biology and the cell tissue culture or cell culture in general. And I insist people to read more books to encourage others also. People encourage others to read more books so that you can improve your knowledge and you can expose the various fields across the genre, right? So it's not like only fiction or only science fiction or maybe literature or other fields. You should go and blend across various multiple genres in the literary world, like science fiction or non-fiction or fiction or something like that. But I recommend that before going for any sort of thing, you review it, right? So I prefer non-fiction is a wonderful genre to explore, wherein you can collect numerous facts and information about a particular author, about a particular concept, whether it might be related to space or whether it might be related to engineering, biology, medicine, as such. And even it will be benefit for you to expose and explore the the unknown, right? It's like exploring the unknown, and I insist everybody to go through that part in their lives. Someday or the other, you too will catch up the bus. It's not like the bus will be going without any sort of stops. This reading is something like a bus where you have been sitting inside and exploring various destinations. If you are interested and ready to get down, you will get down by the end of the day to a particular destination. So I recommend everyone to at least have a habit of reading books once again, because books opens the doors to various worlds. It heals something. It heals you from the inside, and instead of spending time on movies or sports or something like that, maybe it might be your hobby. I also recommend you to cultivate a hobby of reading books and to explore the unknown worlds. Be curious, and also start asking questions and doubts within yourself. Try exploring online contents for the same with the help of Google search and etc. So I thank you one and all for patiently listening to this particular audio recording of the podcast. And those who are not live over here, I won't pity you, because you can again come back to my profile and check the content and listen to it. So it's available 24/7 all the time here. I won't change it or edit it or something like that. So once again, I insist everybody to go through this particular book and also the movie under the title of the same. Thank you one and all for your patient listening. Have a wonderful day ahead. Goodbye. Take care.